Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Tuesday, September 22nd. This is where we bring you the top headlines from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Thank you for choosing to be here to get filled in on the things that are impacting you here in Northeast Ohio. We have the latest numbers in now from the Ohio Department of Health related to COVID-19 here in Ohio, and we have seen the smallest increase in daily reported new cases of COVID-19 in the past 2 weeks today. However, new daily reported deaths are just up a bit from the lower numbers we've been seeing over the past several days. So let's get into those specific numbers. In the last 24 hours, there have been 685 new cases reported of COVID-19. Now, again, remember, there's a delay in the reporting of this data, so that doesn't mean there have been 685 new positive tests in the last 24 hours, but these are the number of cases that have been reported to the Ohio Department of Health. That brings the total number of COVID-19 cases we've had here in the state of Ohio to now 145,850, dating all the way back to March 9th. Our positivity rating is down from yesterday. This is the 7-day average positivity rating. So for all of the COVID-19 tests done in the past 7 days, on average, 2.9% of them are coming back positive. And that continues to be below that World Health Organization recommended threshold of 5%. Now, in the last 24 hours, there have been 12 new COVID-19 deaths reported in Ohio. That's up from yesterday when there were 8 new deaths reported. Over the weekend, on Sunday, there were 3 new deaths reported and 4 new deaths reported on Saturday. That total number in Ohio is now 4,635. We've seen 70 new hospitalizations in the last 24 hours. This is where we get into that data that's more real time, that comes in more quickly from the hospitals. The total number of people who are currently in the hospital being treated for COVID-19 is 593. That's an increase of 1 from yesterday. And of those 593 patients in the hospital, 196 of them are being treated in the intensive care unit. So 1/3 of all people hospitalized right now for COVID-19 are being treated in an ICU. We have seen 11 new ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. And hospital bed occupancy is up. It's up from yesterday. It's up 5% from Monday. It's now at 74%. So 26% of all hospital beds in the state of Ohio are available for people who might need them. Now we turn to the national and the global numbers for COVID-19. And unfortunately, today, according to Johns Hopkins University, the U.S. has now hit 200,000 deaths related to COVID-19. That number, as of 2 p.m. today, was 200,252 deaths in the U.S. related to COVID-19. The total number of cases now reported in the U.S. of COVID-19 is 6,872,925. When we take a look at how the national numbers compare to the global numbers, we know that the U.S. has 4.25% of the U.S. population, but 21% of the known deaths and 22% of the global cases. The total number of cases globally is now at 31,409,623, and the total number of deaths globally is now at 966,574. So with the U.S. hitting that 200,000 deaths number, that does account for 21% of the total deaths around the world. Yesterday, while President Donald Trump was here in Ohio, he falsely claimed that COVID-19, quote, affects virtually nobody. This is yesterday, of course, before the death toll hit 200,000 here in the U.S. This was while he was speaking to supporters at one of his campaign stops at either Dayton or Toledo yesterday. The president went on to say that the COVID-19 still doesn't pose much of a threat to young people. Here's a quote from the president. He said, "It affects elderly people with heart problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. In some states, thousands of people. Nobody young, below the age of 18, like nobody. They have a strong immune system." And that, according to our Tegna reporting team, false from President Donald Trump. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, says COVID-19 can be very serious in young people. He is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. He was talking today with CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta. So during that interview, Dr. Fauci said, yes, quantitatively, when you look at the aggregate numbers, COVID-19 is less serious for young people as a group, but it is still serious for young people with underlying conditions. So to say that it does not affect young people, to say that it affects nobody below the age of 18 is simply not accurate. Dr. Fauci said today there are plenty of younger people who have underlying conditions that put them at risk. In March, during an interview with journalist Bob Woodward, President Donald Trump said, now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob. Just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older, it's plenty of younger people. Now that we know what the president said in March and what he said yesterday here in Ohio, let's look at the facts from the CDC. According to the CDC, Americans that are 17 years old and younger make up about 8.4% of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the U.S. And about 107 Americans between the ages of 0 and 18 have died from COVID-19. That's according to the CDC. Weekly hospitalizations for children has also steadily increased for COVID-19 infections in children under the age of 18. Experts now believe that there are many more asymptomatic infections among young people in the U.S. than the data actually shows, with a big concern related to that being the return to in-person schooling in some places. And a study from the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association showed that in the U.S., over 513,000 children that we know about have contracted COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. Those are the numbers as they come from the CDC. Now, as we look toward the November 3rd election, the very first presidential debate is happening here in Cleveland on September 29th, just a week away. That will be held at the Cleveland Clinic main campus in Cleveland from 9 p.m. to 10:30. Well, the road closures are starting already, and there are a lot of them. So beginning today, the road will be closed on East 93rd Street between Chester Avenue and Euclid Avenue. There will also be lane obstructions on Euclid Avenue from East 100th Street to East 93rd Street if you're heading north, and East 100th Street in the southbound lanes. Now, starting on Friday, the weekend before, there are a lot of road closures. We do have these all listed on WKYC.com and our WKYC app, but here's just a few of those road closures that are starting on Friday, September 25th. Chester Avenue between East 89th Street to East 101st Street, Cary Court between East 90th Street and East 93rd Street, and East 97th Street heading north to Logan Court. Make sure you check out those street closures that we have listed on WKYC.com. They are all across the city, and there are a lot of them, so you are going to want to check that out. Now, we were talking earlier today about how the Tribe can clinch a playoff spot. Well, there are some other things that the Tribe is looking at clinching, including the MVP award here in the American League, and it's looking like third baseman Jose Ramirez could be a front-runner. ESPN's Jeff Passan thinks so. So Ramirez has scored 5 home runs in the last 5 games, helping the Tribe bounce back from that 6-game losing streak with a 4-1 run right now. And as for his season-long statistics, yes, we are in a shortened season, but his season-long statistics, he's got a .290 batting average and 16 home runs and 41 RBIs. So, according to Passan, the fact that Ramirez scored a 3-run home run in the first inning on Monday, and if you look since August 26th, he leads the major league with 11 home runs. That makes him a strong contender for the American League MVP award. Passan says that Ramirez's main competition actually comes from the White Sox, who were playing tonight, and we need to beat in order to clinch a playoff spot. And that's one of the ways we can clinch the playoff spot tonight. So Passan says that Ramirez's main competition is the White Sox's Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu. Now, they play for the same team, so it's possible that they could split the vote, and that could help Ramirez become the American League MVP. Now, R3 News sports analyst Ben Axelrod also says, kind of ironically, Ramirez could have some competition from the Cleveland Ball Club. American League frontrunner, Cy Young frontrunner Shane Bieber has been talked about potentially for the American League MVP award. However, Ben pointed out in his article on WKYC.com that MVP voters are typically a little biased against pitchers. Since 1993, there's only been one pitcher in the American League and in the other league that have won the overall MVP award. That was Justin Verlander in 2011 and Clayton Kershaw in 2004. So American League and the National League not so keen on pitchers winning that MVP award. So could potentially see that award go to our third baseman, Jose Ramirez. Again, the Tribe plays the White Sox tonight at 6:10 p.m. And if we win that game, we clinch a spot in the playoffs, or if the Houston Astros beat the Seattle Mariners, and that game is at 9:10 p.m. tonight. So either of those things happen, the Tribe is going to the playoffs. Here is some news that you might be happy to know if you've been missing out on your cocktails or if you've been enjoying to-go cocktails. The Ohio bill that would permanently allow cocktails to go has passed committee in the Senate. So this bill, House Bill 669, it was introduced in the Ohio House in May and it passed there in June. Then it was introduced to the Ohio Senate in June and has been sitting there in committee. Well, today that bill passed the Senate Agricultural and Natural Resources Committee. So now it will go to a full vote in the Senate. And if it passes there, then it'll go before Governor Mike DeWine to be signed into law. So David Wajnor of the Distilled Spirits Council of the U.S. said that this is an important thing to do in order to allow Ohio's restaurants and bars to plan for the future, better position themselves for recovery, and that making cocktails to go permanent would be a good move here in Ohio. A lot of states have done this since COVID-19 shut down bars and restaurants, at least temporarily. Right now, more than 30 states and the District of Columbia are allowing, at least temporarily, cocktails to go. And on June 29th, Iowa became the first state to make that permanent. So if Ohio does it, Ohio would be the second state to make cocktails to go permanent. There are other states considering it right now as well. Those states include Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, and DC that are looking at potentially making to-go cocktails permanent. So maybe Ohio can not necessarily lead the way, but be a close second in this situation if that does pass the Senate. Here's one more reminder for you that today, Tuesday, September 22nd, is National Voter Registration Day. There are only 13 days left to register to vote here in Ohio if you would like to vote in the upcoming presidential election, which is happening on November 3rd. You can do that online if you have an Ohio driver's license or an Ohio identification card and a social security number. You can do that online. You just need to provide some other information, your address, of course, your birth date, your name, those things. And I have also tweeted out that link at _Stephanie Haney so that you can easily find that. And tonight there is an in-person event at the 6th City Sailors Club. That's in connection with the Downtown Cleveland Residents Association. That's from 4:30 to 8 o'clock tonight. That's at Euclid Avenue and East 6th Street here in downtown Cleveland. If you need some help registering to vote, if you want to go there, check your status, make a plan to vote. They're having a whole event of it, and they do have a patio there, of course, at the 6th City Sailors Club here in downtown Cleveland. One more reminder, too, if you enjoy watching this on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, you can also now get 3 News Now as a podcast on your favorite podcast provider. All you have to do, go to that platform and search for 3 News Now with Stephanie Haney. 3 News is one word. It is the letter 3, and you will easily be able to find it. If you do like getting your news in the form of a podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Let us know what you're thinking. That's it for your 3 News Now afternoon update for Tuesday, September 22nd. I'll see you next up on What's New at 5 p.m. with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, which you can also watch live for free on the WKYC app. And I'll see you back here tomorrow with 3 News Now. Everyone enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Stay safe and be well. I'm Stephanie Haney.